This one got early dinner at the Mexican restaurant, so my stomach, I ate too much. I always do
Oh,
that. Oh man, I ate too much.
yep.
Let's see. Tweet that out. The Cardinals already lost today in the
Uh-oh.
inning. God, they're
Yeah,
terrible.
we're big Notre Dame fans where I'm from, so.
I can't wait till football season at this
Oh,
point.
I know. They're getting some big recruits, I hear.
Yeah. Well, Notre Dame's gonna be. Don't you guys play in over in Europe for the first game this year? I think.
I think they do. Ireland, maybe? Or no,
Yeah,
Ireland.
Ireland. Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
yeah,
did that last year too, didn't you? Played Northwestern or no Nebraska, right?
yeah,
Somebody.
right. Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. That'd be fun if we got to do that sometime, but we have a hard enough time
Yeah,
with who we
prep
play.
that part, but my husband's a big diehard fan. He likes to watch on TV, and we go
Yeah,
to go some of the games. But
you guys are always on NBC.
yes, right.
Yep,
Yeah.
we have season tickets for Mizzou, and then we try to go to one away game somewhere, to go to a
Okay.
new stadium. We've been to Tennessee, Alabama, and Ole Miss,
Uh-huh.
so maybe Georgia this year. Who knows?
Okay.
We'll get killed down in Georgia, but I mean everybody gets killed by
Oh,
them. So
you're right. Yep.
what are you gonna do? All right, so we got a few people in here. Let's see. So if you're in here with us, just say hello in the comments. Let us know where you're tuned in from. We got Stephanie. She's tuned in from Walt Disney World, Bay Lake Tower. How about that? We're trying something new tonight. How about this? On location. All right. This is for Monday. Man, desk is messy. Gotta quit eating crackers in here. I hate messes. Okay, so this is number 2306. There's Jessica. Hello, Jessica up in New Hampshire, but it's beautiful up that way. And hello to Fulton. I did not get to watch it, Fulton, but I'm doing that tonight. I got the link. I copy and pasted it into my Google Keep notepad. All right, here we go. Vero Mike is here too. Ooh, he's going to Animal Kingdom Lodge tomorrow, club level. Dang, everybody's fancy.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
You're at Bay Lake Tower. Vero Mike's going to be at club level at Animal Kingdom, and I'm sitting in my basement in my daughter's old bedroom. What? What's wrong with this? I'll be on the Disney Wish in 3 weeks, people. So I get to be fancy for a few days, of just a few.
Right.
That's right. In the Tower Coronado, which I can consider fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we go, because we got to get you back out there because the fireworks going to be starting soon. Here we go. Yeah, right. We got to get done with that. Here we go. 2306. Welcome to episode 2306 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Monday to you. Of course, I hope you had a great weekend. Got to spend some time with friends and family and all the dads. Hope you got some barbecue. And do dads even get ties anymore? I mean, I remember I used to be a school teacher, so I used to get ties all the time back in the day. But I can't tell you the last time I had a fancy shirt on. I work from home, t-shirts and shorts. I hate to say it. I joke with my wife, when we go to El Azteca, our local Mexican restaurant, I always tell her, give me 5. Got to put on the go out shorts, which are basically just the shorts from Old Navy. That's Mike getting dressed up at this point. But hope you had a great Father's Day to all the Disney dads out there. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. And let's make another awesome week here in the middle of June and get rolling here. No better way to do it. We got something special for you today. We're trying something we've never done before here on the Be Our Guest podcast because of our upgraded technology. And it's thanks to our patrons. All the patrons, thank you so much for your continued support because we can do something like we're doing today. We have a guest joining us to talk about a trip report as the trip is happening right now, live from Walt Disney World. So we're talking with listener Stephanie. Stephanie, thanks for taking the time during your Walt Disney World vacation. We appreciate you coming on the show.
Well, hey, Mike. Hello. Yes, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to meet you guys finally.
So tell us where you are recording with us right now.
Sure. Yeah. So right now we're at Bay Lake Tower and we've been here about a week and we leave tomorrow. And it's been a great trip so far.
All right. Well, hey, some people say, Mike, the trip reports are great and everything, but they're from like 6 months ago. And I do apologize for that because people asked to come on the show and I give anytime somebody asks, I always say you can always come on the show, but I only can record one time a week because we do so many shows and I have other commitments other nights of the week. So they do get kind of pushed out, but you asked a long time ago and it just happened that you're like, okay, well, be done. And now we can do this while you're there because we can record with iPhones now and it looks just like normal. So, all right. So let's talk about, before we even get into the trip that you're on right now, tell us about your Disney fandom. How do you find yourself listening to Disney podcasts and where did it all start for you?
Okay. So, it started way back, I guess I'm going to show my age here, back in 1975. My parents brought me and my family over. I'm from Northern Indiana. So we flew down and stayed at the Polynesian. And I think from there, my love and my passion for Disney started. And the podcast, I was just been online a lot looking. It's been probably a couple years now. I've listened to you guys, and I love your podcast. I love your small talk about restaurants and all things. I love it with Pam and Ricky. So yeah, it's been a pleasure to listen to you guys, and so I'm hooked.
Appreciate that. And I know, and we were talking before we started recording here that you guys are your Bay Lake Tower, your DVC members.
Yes.
So you're invested into the Disney fandom at the highest level. You've bought into the company. So when did that happen for you guys?
That happened in 2015.
Yeah, 2015. Okay, so
our home resort really is Copper Creek and Alani. I'd love to try all the resorts. We've stayed at Bay Tower before. My daughter and I came down here for the first time, just her and I by ourselves, first time. And we're coming back, I think 6 months from tomorrow, back again. We're going to stay at Old Key West.
Oh.
So yeah, in a 2-bedroom. So yeah, I'm hooked. I'm already disappointed. Tomorrow's our last day, but looking forward to the next trip.
It's absolutely 100% easier to leave when you have the next trip on the books.
That's for sure. That 100%. Is for
I tell you that. Now, have you ever stayed at Old Key West?
Oh my, that's a great resort. You need to.
Yes, that's one. And you mentioned the 2-bedroom unit. I was lucky to get to stay with a fellow podcaster named Scott Gardner. We split a 2-bedroom there one time. It's at the time that unit was larger than the house we were living in, and
their rooms are huge.
It's enormous.
And the 2-bedroom is huge. We have full kitchen, laundry, like other DVCs, but it's just, I think the biggest rooms on the Disney property. So
I think they are.
Feels like home. You walk right into your door. The doors on the outside with a welcome mat. So it's a great resort.
Let me ask you this because people kind of, I'd like to get your perspective on this, and then we'll dive into the specifics of your trip you're on right now, because I like to get these different views on things, your DVC. Mm-hmm. One thing I noticed is when we went on that trip to Old Key West and we stayed, I think 3 nights at Old Key West in the 2-bedroom, is that, as much as we enjoy going to the theme parks, what we found ourselves doing was that the unit over Old Key West, the 2-bedroom, was so nice that we found ourselves just hanging out like in the living room, playing cards, baked cookies. We sat on the patio, the porch, the screened in porch, because we were right over a golf green, right on one of the golf holes.
Right.
And it was like we were hanging out at one of our houses back home, but a really nice house. It was like more just hanging out as a family. And do you find that the DVC affords that, where the theme parks are great and all, but you spend more time back in the unit because it's more of they used to call it home away from home, but it really does feel like that.
Oh, you're exactly right. My husband loves to do that. We do we go to the park in the morning, like everyone else does, go back to the resort, and we're there for, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours using the pool bar. Mm-hmm. We use the grills outside. We make a lot of food there at our room. Yeah, we love it. We buy popcorn and yeah, great. We just, we forget. I'm like, we're at Disney sometimes.
Yeah.
It's big. It's like you said, it's like home. We play cards, games. Yeah.
Because Scott always brings, what's the cribbage, I think is the game he taught me how to play.
Sure.
Never heard of it, but he taught me how to play that game. So could have totally been scamming me. I think he let me win once, but he won like 8 times. But it was fun. I learned how to play. But the key is break and bake cookies, because the whole unit smells like freshly baked cookies, and they taste awesome, but they're easy. You just put them in the oven, and
there you go. That's a good idea. I'm gonna have to think of that.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here. So let's talk about the trip you're on right now. So you're down there. It's beginning middle of June. When did this trip come together? How did you guys put this one together?
Yeah, so we I'm thinking we put it together around April or May. My husband and I he always takes 4-wheeler trips with our son. And so he's like, why don't you do something different with our daughter? And she's in 3 sports. And so we thought right after school's over, we'll head on down. And then I didn't know we're also annual pass holders. So we didn't know this month of June is 30% off all the merchandise and 20% off of the food. So we didn't know. That's a great surprise. But so yeah, started, I say back in April, May. Usually I plan out longer than that, like a couple months ahead or a year maybe. But this was kind of a last whim because we already have DVC points. Our tickets are paid for. Why not? The flight. So.
Good point. So, and see, I'm excited because, we're headed down. As this comes out in about 2 weeks for the podcast cruise, we're staying a couple of nights at Coronado before, a day and a half. And then we got 3 nights after the cruise at Walt Disney World. But that 20% off dining at so many locations and 30% off merchandise. I'm excited for that. Not that I buy a lot of merchandise, but I mean, that's a significant discount for annual pass holders, which I am. So that'll be helpful.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. My daughter and I, we like to, we're pin traders. We love pins. So, yeah, we've been doing that a lot this week, buying pins that, we normally wouldn't buy, but that 30% off discount is real tempting.
I know. I'll probably buy something I don't need.
I find out bulletin board. I thought, oh my, I don't have any room for these anymore.
Yeah. I know. That'll get me. It's going to cost me money is what it's going to do. But
God.
That's why they put it out there. Okay. So,
yeah.
Why Bay Lake Tower though? Was it because you booked kind of late in the game? Was it based simply on availability, or were you planning on being mostly at the Magic Kingdom? What was it?
Availability. Because we usually get a 1 or 2 bedroom, but with our points, I didn't really want to spend. It's just her and I wasn't going to do a lot of cooking, so we thought the studio would be more something different to do. We never stayed at a studio at Bay Tower. We stayed at 1 and 2 bedroom, but yeah. So I thought, let's do Bay Tower, something different, and they had availability, which I was kind of surprised.
Right. So your daughter's in 3 sports. How old is she?
Yeah, she will be. She's going to be 18.
Oh man.
I call cheer a sport, even because I know your daughter Mallory's in the cheer. I call that a sport.
Yep.
And then she's also in golf and tennis.
Wow. Yeah. And so, I mean, so we have a lot of, parents of athletes in our audience. I know because I speak to a ton of them throughout the year. And that's one of those things, as you know, it is very difficult to find a week in the year when your kid is in it, like all-star cheer or, whatever it is, they're in the band, they're in some kind of a high school or very competitive activity because, vacation time, it's near impossible at that point. And, but so you found that time, which is good because you got it right. The school got out. That's good.
We did. And, with our school, we only have about 8 weeks off in the summer. From the summer to when school starts. I think we start August 10th, this year. So there's not a whole lot of time to get a family vacation in. So we thought, well, we'll just do it right in the beginning of June. And
yeah, I know for cheer, like they've already started practice here for Howell for our cheerleaders. They started already last week for next season, but fortunately our state mandates a couple of dead weeks where the athletes cannot practice for the whole state, every athlete, football, cheer, everything, cross country. So the 4th of July week, nobody can practice, so that's a good week, because everybody, that way families can travel, and there's 1 week like in August where people can travel, but I get it. And so what it does though, and I think people that have kids in this situation is it does make you value those vacation times because when they were little, we could go whenever and it was not a big deal, but man, to get to spend time with Mallory and now with Paige, my older daughter, who has a full-time job, I never get to see her. She's in Chicago, so really the older they get, the more precious these vacations become.
You're right. And yeah, my daughter, she likes missing school, but she's going to be a senior next year and missing tests. She doesn't really, not big on that. So yeah, we just do it when we can. You're right.
Absolutely. All right. So tell us so you guys still from Indiana, correct?
Yes, we're in the north part of Indiana. Yep, close to Michigan. Nice.
Yes. Nice. Okay. God's country out here in the Midwest. I like it. So how do you guys just fly down? I mean, how's travel typically for you from Indiana to Orlando?
Yeah. So normally we drive or fly, but this time her and I flew down. We flew into Orlando, Sanford. I got an Uber for the first time myself. That was pretty slick. $48. We're here in an hour. And I got her groceries delivered from Walmart. So that worked out really well. So yeah.
I've never flown to Sanford. How is that? Is that a small airport or what's that like?
But you know what? It's nonstop from where we live close to by Fort Wayne, Indiana, which is a little bit southeast of where we live. So we just go a straight shot from Fort Wayne to Orlando Sanford. And the tickets were really fairly cheap, I thought.
Huh.
$100 a person or so, maybe, I think it was.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's interesting because we have now I live closer to our main airport where I live, but
Okay.
across the river in St. Louis, over on the Illinois side, there's a smaller airport called Mid America, and they have a couple of daily flights that go into Sanford. And I
Yeah.
mean, I tell you, they are dirt cheap. Like they're dirt cheap, but they go to Sanford.
Right.
And it would be about an hour and 15-minute drive to get there. And I've looked at it because it's Allegiant Airlines.
Yeah, that's who
And
we fly with. I was
is it
leaving.
okay? Yeah, so it's
Okay.
a small air carrier, but I'm like,
Yeah,
they are like $49. It's
I
like
know.
dirt
You can't
cheap.
pass
Yeah.
that up. And it's a nice airport. It's smaller than, MCO, Orlando International, quite a bit smaller, but it's really nice. It's yeah, we like it.
Interesting. Cool. I love that we could always have these conversations because it just gives people something to think about here
Oh,
on a Monday. Because hey, maybe it'll save you a couple $100 next
oh
time. Who knows? It's
yeah.
awesome. All right. So tell us about let's get into the trip though. Let's just talk about it. So you
All
guys
right.
get there. How's it start to unfold? We'll give us some highlights.
Yeah. So we did of course we do the pass hop or the park hopper. The first night, Thursday night, I think we got in here. Can't remember what time we got in here. I'm lost my train of thought. But we went to Epcot and went to the Chefs de France. I never have ever ate there, and that food was phenomenal. I had a wonderful steak, and so yeah, we planned the whole week out. Park hop, like I said, go to the park in the morning, come back, relax, and then go out back in the evening to another park. I think we probably ate at 6 different places this time for supper out, since we don't have a kitchen here. So
That's what you're supposed to do. You're on vacation. You
that's
shouldn't
right.
be cooking.
That's right. So the kitchen's closed.
That's right. It's all
You
right.
got
And I've been to Chefs de France twice, both on the 4th of July. I don't know why. Like, I mean, why am I at a French restaurant on the 4th of July twice? I just
right.
how it's gone. It's weird.
That food is so good. Oh my, I was really surprised. I'm a picky eater, and my daughter, she's a real exotic eater, so she'll eat anything. But yeah, the steak was really good.
And that's what I had both times. Both times I'm at Chefs de France. You think I get something French? Nope, steak and potatoes.
Yep, same here. I'm right, yeah, I'm right with you. Yep.
Good Midwestern people go to the French restaurant.
That's
Steak
right.
and potatoes.
Yeah, she had ratatouille, which she absolutely loved. But yeah, I had the steak and potatoes. So yeah.
What we get. Okay. So tell us, just let's walk this, we don't have to go in order or anything like that. Because I know you've been there a long time. You've done a ton, but just let's talk about some of the highlights of the trip. Like, what are some of the fun things you've gotten to do with your daughter?
Yeah. So one of the first things we did, we have never done before. I've been to Disney countless times. We did Keys to the Kingdom tour.
Yes.
Which was wonderful. And I won't spoil it for anybody on who's ever listening, but if you are a diehard Disney fan that you're passionate about, I would definitely take it. We were so impressed with it. It was the 5 hours went too quick. I would have loved to have done another 5, but it was so good.
Yes. And so, yeah, I don't want to give too much away because I've done it actually twice. That's how much I liked it. I went back, even though I knew what was going to, I knew
Yes.
90% of what they were going to tell us. I didn't care because I wanted to have the experience and go the same. We didn't actually go to the same places. We went some of the same places, but we went to a few different places the second time. But the access and the stories, because the stories are slightly different too between the guides, because the guides kind of have different, backgrounds, I guess. And
Sure.
but it is cool to have that VIP experience. Did you guys still have lunch at Columbia Harbor House with that too?
I know we didn't. We had it up Post Bills this
Oh,
time.
cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we went through Adventureland and Frontierland is what we went through. Just those, but it was just a great tour. It's all worth the money for sure.
That's interesting. That's funny though, because we did Liberty Square and we did Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
Huh.
Went to Haunted Mansion, and we also did the Jungle Cruise.
Cool.
That
Oh,
was
that's a good one.
that was so. Oh gosh, yeah, that was the highlight of our trip. I think it was first for her and I, and we loved it.
Nice. Yeah, every true Disney fan needs to do that one. And I need to do the one out of Disney because we talked about you got to get to Disneyland, and I still got to do one at Disneyland. The walking. I know it's not walking in Walt's footsteps anymore. It's got a new name, but similar. That's I'm next.
Yeah, yeah. So
All
anyway,
right, so give us some more highlights.
Oh yeah. So then we also went to sci-fi, which that's always we always have to go with that every time we come. We love sci-fi. We went to Liberty Tree today for kind of a late lunch supper. That was really good. And I haven't done the Phantasmic show in a while, and we did this year. I haven't been there probably in, I don't know, 10 years. So that was really nice to see. We ate at Mama Melrose with that Phantasmic dinner package. That was really, my daughter went when she was real little and she didn't remember it. So she liked that.
So people always ask that, and since you just obviously were there this week,
Yes.
the seating with that. So you went to Mama Rose, had your meal, and then you go and see the show later on that evening. Were the seats decent? Did you guys sit in the middle of the theater? What were the seats like?
Smack in the middle, probably around 5 rows up. It was perfect. Perfect seating for that package. Of course it was warm, but yeah, we had a great seating. I would definitely do that again. Cool. I know all the sides could have all the sides of the screens, they see, but yeah, that was just the prime seating spot. So it was worth the money.
Good. You're good.
Mm-hmm.
Mama Melrose, good meal. Cause I hope so. Cause I love that place. And I can't get into sci-fi, by the way. So I refuse to talk about it cause I can never get an ADR there. I've tried for 5 years.
Really?
I can't.
You know what? I today just for fun and it popped up. I was just trying to see where we could eat. I couldn't believe it. I thought, what in the world? But I think because maybe I'm not sure if the crowds are down this time of year. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then we also got a late one into Cinderella's Royal Table, which I was shocked about.
Now, how is that? Because I have not been in there for at least a decade.
Yes, that was. I wasn't really sure about it because same with me. We haven't been there probably in 15 years. That's the problem. We took her daughter when she was younger. Well, then now she's older, she doesn't remember it, so I have to take her back again because But I was really surprised. The food was really good. Last time I wasn't really, a big fan, but the food was really, really really good. Yeah, the service was great. We had 4 princesses. So yeah, I would definitely do that again. I was surprised.
It's super expensive. I mean, it's
is
definitely really.
You're paying for the atmosphere.
You are. But I mean, again, it's like every Disney fan, right? It's if you are invested, a huge Disney fan, it's
right.
I kind of equate this like Space 220. I don't think you need to do Space 220 every trip because it's going to be something that you've kind of seen it, you know what it's about. But every Disney fan needs to absolutely do it once because you got to see inside that castle.
Oh, you do.
It's gorgeous, and it's just then you'll have that memory every time you see a Disney movie and you see that castle at the beginning of the movie, like, oh, I have that. I was in that castle, even though it's not the same thing, but you kind of make that memory.
Oh, it was, yes. And the thing is, this is kind of just her and I trip. There's things that we do that my husband wasn't a big fan. He doesn't have to do that trip like you said every time, that meal. So that we'll probably won't do that for many years. Maybe when she has her kids, we can go again, someday down the road. But yeah, but I'm glad we got to do that. I was really surprised that we got in that quick. It was the day of, and I thought, oh, it popped up. And so, yeah, it worked out really well.
That's a good tip though to throw out there, is to check the ADRs that day, because now cancellations can go up to 2 hours prior to the reservation. Right. So they're really rolling over last minute at this point.
You're exactly true. Exactly right.
All right, so let me ask you this too. So you guys are touring the parks, kind of hitting them, but not going at breakneck pace.
Right.
Are you guys using Genie Plus, or are you finding you don't need it because you're not worried?
Well, I do use Genie Plus. It's a pretty slick program. I first wasn't sure about it. I thought, oh, I don't know, paying $24 a person a day. But I tell you what, it is so slick. Once we get on that ride and we go through the scanner with our bands, we can select another ride right away before we're even done with that ride. It's so, we can get a lot of rides in using that Genie Plus.
Nice.
I try to stack as much as I can.
So you're stacking them. So what tips, if you found like any tips you could share to our audience that you've maybe found over the past week or so that like, oh, well, now that I've used it, this is something I've learned with the system that's worked well for me.
Yeah. So the popular rides, the ones that aren't the Lightning Lane, the popular ones, I try to get first. And then once the other ones pop up, we use that popular ride, then we go through it. And then like Winnie the Pooh shows up, and then, Peter Pan's a popular ride for some reason. So I usually get that one first, and then I just stack them up. I get the less, how do I say it? The less popular ones, maybe.
Yeah, you just kind of save those and just grab those as they come on them, kind of filler. Yeah.
So I mean, we rode, I mean, probably, I'm not sure, maybe 8 rides a day at least. It was so quick. It was like, wow. So I think GM Plus is a real asset to buy. I
Yeah,
mean,
and if you have it, I would make sure though, as soon as you redeem one or go through the
right,
touch point, make sure that you are scheduling your next one so that while
yeah,
you're even still waiting in line for that experience, in that last 10 minutes from the touch point to getting in the vehicle, you're using
mhm.
that 10 minutes virtually in line for the next experience.
Yeah,
You're getting in there.
we hit it within an hour. If you do, like you said, the touch point, and then when I'm waiting in line real quick, I guess it says, you can do it now. I just do another one quickly.
Yeah, I
So
think yeah.
I really do. I first was kind of bummed about it in the beginning, but it's pretty slick, and yeah, we like it.
Yeah, I think it works amazing. At Disneyland, I had it all 5 days at Disneyland when we were there with our tickets, and it worked extremely well. But I mean, Disneyland, especially in Disneyland Park, but at DCA, the same thing. The
Hmm.
the attractions, it's so dense. There's so many attractions so close together.
Oh,
Even with Park Hopper, you can walk back and forth between the parks, just like you could walk like, Epcot World Showcase to Future World. It's
oh,
crazy how you can just get around. So you can really get to everything so fast. But at
right.
Walt Disney World, it's a little more spread out. But I
It
think
is.
I'm going to get it because when we're down this time, the girls don't have annual passes anymore, and we're going to kind of maximize. They're like Paige, my oldest, hasn't even seen Galaxy's Edge. That's how long it's been for her. So I got to get her on all this stuff.
You got to get her on. Sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I feel, but because we used to go all the time, and now, like you say, when they get older, time gets away.
Oh,
It's been a while.
right. Yep.
So, what else? So, you guys getting? We mentioned before we start recording, the weather has been hot. Has that affected you guys? It's extremely. Because I follow a lot of meteorologists in Florida and in Orlando, just because I like to keep track of what's going on, especially during hurricane season for my guests and stuff. And I've seen heat indexes of like 103, 104 for Central Florida. I mean, that is hot, and it's
It is
early.
hot. You got it right there. So today it felt like 105.
Ooh.
And it was just right away in the morning. So I'm an early riser. So we went to park in the morning, and I think maybe that's why the crowds are down a little bit due to the weather, is what I'm wondering. In the afternoon, things seem to be really sparse. I think people go back to their rooms or pools or something. Then the evening it picks up a little bit more. But I think, yeah, it's very hot. But when I get down here, like you call the Disney bubble, I forget about the heat because I am awful at my house at home. And so when I get down here, I kind of forget how hot it is because I just want to get to point A to point B, and I just walk and I sweat, but I just forget about everything when I'm down here. If I was home,
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because we always go in the dead of summer. We're always there like the week after the 4th of July, or we're always there right around the 4th of July every year.
Mhm.
And couldn't pick a hotter place in the earth or a hotter time of the year. I don't, it's just what we do, and
Mhm.
we still have a blast. But it's the same thing. We go right at rope drop. We bail out at like 11:30 or 12
Yeah.
o'clock because we're just like, oh man, like I can't take another step. We hit the
Oh,
pool and then go back at supper time.
right.
Grab a dinner and then hang out, and it gets a little darker, and you can survive till 11 o'clock. You're
That's,
good.
yeah.
Good.
That's exactly our plan. And tonight the Magic Kingdom is open from 9 to 11 for the deluxe resort guest. So we'll probably use that time to go back out there and our last night and get some rides in.
Now, have you guys gone to any of those yet?
The express or the extended hours?
Yeah, the extended
Yeah,
hours.
we had before, but not this week. We have not.
Okay, so even though so what do you, if you've done those before? I mean, do they really kind of live up to the expectations that you've
I
seen
think
in
they
the
really do. I first wasn't sure how they were going to find people, how they're going to weed them out, but they do somehow. I'm not sure how it happens, but it's beneficial. I mean, we like to use that perk. I think right now Magic Kingdom is on Wednesday nights late, and then Epcot is on Monday nights. The extended hours for the deluxe resort guest. But yeah, we like it. I use it, and I can tell the difference in the crowd.
Well, the hotter it gets, the more valuable that becomes.
You got that right, for sure.
If they move that to like 1 o'clock in the morning to like 3 o'clock in the morning, the hotter it gets, the even more valuable that it becomes. It's cooler.
Because we wake up in the morning at 7, like I do, or 6, it's already hits you, open the door, and it's woof, the heat's right there, the humidity.
I know, because a lot of times on my vacation, I'll run, before I get the day started, and there's a reason I get up like at 4:30, even though I go to bed late, because I mean, that's the only time you can run in the summer in Florida, because if you wait till the sun comes up, no, you
Oh, yeah.
it's too late. You
Right.
it's too hot. This is too hot and too humid. So yeah, it gets, as soon as that sun comes up, it's kind of game over. It's really hot. Let me ask you about this too. Is you guys because we really did, I know we're all over the place here, but we didn't even talk about Bay Lake Tower in your studio.
Oh,
How's
yeah.
it working out, like accommodations? And I've never stayed there. Is the pool just the one you use over at the Contemporary proper? Is that the pool that you guys use? Or
No, Bay Lake has their own pool.
do they?
Yes, with a huge slide. It's really nice. Right now, the splash pad is closed for the kiddie pool area, but it's a beautiful pool. It's really big. They have a pool bar down there called the Cove Bar. We get our lava smoothies down there, and so we don't really go to Contemporary. Only reason we go to Contemporary is for to get on the monorail.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, it has its own pool, its own resort, their own laundry service. Everything's over here.
Yep.
Yep. It just doesn't have restaurants inside, like, like Chef Mickey's or anything over there, but it's a nice walk.
Yeah, I've been over to the top of the world a couple times, just
Yeah.
because I'm not DVC, but it's good to know friends that are, kind of thing.
Oh,
Like
sure.
hang out with Scott, he's DVC, and Pam.
Well, you can't with me.
We'll hang out. So have you guys gone up there and take advantage of that?
That's right. That's right.
So you guys go up there. That's a pretty cool place.
It really is. We did that a couple years. We talked about maybe doing it tonight. We're not sure what we're going to do for sure, but yeah, we have a queen bed and a couch and a nice kitchenette, and yeah, it's just big enough for her and I. So we like the studio.
So you guys looking out at Bay Lake, or are you looking out at
So do you want to turn my phone to show
no,
you?
well, yeah, you can, sure, why not? Because we're on a phone. I forgot we're on a phone. You don't have to move
Go
your
ahead.
computer or something. So
Okay,
for
so
those that are watching, oh my gosh, there's the Contemporary itself, and there's
right
the
there.
pool. Oh man.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful. So every night we get the electric parade also. That's really cool. The electric parade comes through the lake. Yeah, it's a nice, beautiful. Love it.
Oh man, I am not at all jealous right now.
Yeah.
For those, I know we're an audio podcast, but Stephanie just turned her phone, and what we saw was the A-framed Contemporary Resort. We saw the feature pool of the Contemporary. You saw a beautiful blue sky, because we're recording right now at about 7:30 Eastern time in the evening.
Right.
I mean, it's not sunset, but it's beautiful. Little Bay Lake there in the distance. I mean, it's postcard from the Contemporary right there on the picture, and I'm here in St. Louis. Oh man,
that's right. I'm not lying. I'm truly here. That's
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We have a few more minutes, so give us a couple more highlights though. So are you guys fireworks people? Do you guys, I mean, you've kind of mentioned you did Fantastic. Obviously, you got Epcot Forever, you got Happily Ever After.
We saw it from a distance. We might see it tonight. We might go to the Tower of the World tonight and check that out. But since the hours are 9-11 tonight, we may sneak over there between that time. I'm usually like to be in bed at that time, but my daughter wants to, it's her last night, Mom. Let's go. Sure. So, but let's see here. Okay, one thing I love to do when I go Magic Kingdom, I love going to the Colonel Kitchen, and it's on Main Street Confectionery shop, and it's where you get the popcorn and you add in your white chocolate or chocolate and then your candies. It is, oh my word, it is wonderful. Have you ever heard that before, the Colonel Kitchen?
I've not, but that's something that my wife would go crazy for. And like I said, we're going to be there in 2 weeks, so you're really giving me a list here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so when you walk in, go all the way to your right.
I know what you're talking about. Kind of by where they make the cotton candy.
Yes, yeah, keep going all the way down to where, and it's you pick your own popcorn, your butter, caramel, or there's another one. But you pick your toppings, you go in, and it's just, it's so good. We love stopping by there in the evening. But I only do it one time because it's, bigger. But yeah.
Yeah. So my problem is if I get popcorn, and see, I know this, that's why I don't get it, because
right.
Sometimes I get the popcorn buckets, and one time I got a popcorn. I'm trying to think which one it was. It was one of these that's behind me.
Oh yeah.
It was the Skyliner bucket when the Skyliner opened. So I flew down for the Skyliner opening that weekend. I flew home and I brought the bucket home, and I told myself I was bringing the popcorn home for Mallory because she loves popcorn. And so, but I couldn't pack the Skyliner popcorn bucket away to get on the flight, so I had to use it as carry-on. So,
Oh,
so I had the thing strapped around my neck, looking like a big tourist getting on the airplane, Southwest Airlines. And I sit there and I just set it on the tray for the whole ride home. So the whole way I'm riding, and I had the sour cream
oh
and
my.
like sour cream
The
and
flavor.
something that was so good.
Yeah.
Popcorn in the bucket. And so I was just sitting there on the plane, for 2.5 hours, just looking at it. And I'd take one piece, two piece. By the time I got back to St. Louis, the sucker was empty. I ate the whole
Oh,
thing.
that's full
So,
power.
yeah, I can't get popcorn. I'll destroy it. So I just know
I
stay away.
do. Oh, for sure. Well, if like I said, if you add a little bit of sugar to it or white chocolate, or you have oh, it's wonderful. Yes, your wife there. I'm sure she'd love it.
No, she will. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll totally try to make her day because she puts up with a lot with all this.
Yes.
She has a good time, but she puts up with a lot of clowning, but she lets
Uh,
me do all this fun stuff.
oh, sure.
You got this one last night tonight, but when you guys look back on this trip, I mean, that's really cool that you get to go out with your daughter. That your husband's at home. What is your husband like though? Like when you guys go down with him, what are some of his things that you guys do that you would have done if he was there that he enjoys for Walt Disney World
Yeah.
vacation?
So he likes Epcot probably. That is his favorite. Oh yeah, and the one thing we always do, Mike, when he comes down, we like to do the Hoop to Do review. That's his
Yes.
favorite. His favorite. He thinks that's a bargain. It really is. Because you got your entertainment, you got your food. So we usually do that when he comes down. And we didn't do it this time because that's one thing I said I won't reserve that unless he's with me. But yeah, he enjoys Epcot, and he's more of the resort guy. He likes the pools, relaxing instead of the go. He's not a big shopper. So that's why her and I are doing all our shopping right now. And then we come back in November,
Nice. I get along well with your husband because Hoop-de-Doo is perfect.
Oh, he loves.
It's got a corny like dad joke show,
Yeah.
like kind of Silver Dollar City-ish, Branson type comedy. It's
Right.
got strawberry shortcake, it's got fried chicken, all
Yes.
the sides. It's got everything you need. I mean, you roll out of there, you're just in pain. You've eaten so much.
Oh, yeah.
Don't like to shop? Sign me up. Hang on.
Yeah.
Don't like to shop? Right there, bell for your husband. It's yeah. Well, hanging out at the resort. I mean, exactly. It's perfect. I mean, a
Yeah.
little time in the parks and let's roll. Let's get out of here.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he likes the rides. He's not a bunch of people, he's like a lot of people around, but we know when to go in the morning, and in the evening. Yeah, that's what he likes to do, and just relax the resort and yeah, have a beverage of his choice.
Nothing wrong with that. It's
That's
vacation.
that's
It's vacation. That's why we work hard all year so we can have
That's
these vacations.
exactly right. You do. You work hard all year.
All right. Well, Stephanie, hey, I appreciate this. We got to try something new today, and it sounds like it worked out pretty well. And I know you're wrapping up an epic vacation. You'll be back soon. So we'll have to try this again. But go see Happily Ever After for me tonight and stay till the
I will.
park closes. You got to do that for me.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me on the show, and we look forward to listening to your podcast.
All right. Safe travels back to Indiana tomorrow. But thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thanks again, Mike. Okay, we'll see ya.
All righty. Don't forget today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Check them out today over at themagicforless.com. The agents are standing by right now to help you plan an amazing Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney trip. Again, check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And a sincere thank you to the patrons of the Be Our Guest Podcast. You allow us to put this show out all over the world and many times a week. We couldn't do it without you. And you're allowing us to get this new technology here over the past couple of months to do things like this, to go live from Walt Disney World. If you'd like to support the show to allow us to grow, to expand our podcast, and get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest, come on over and support us. It's patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Give me a follow on social media. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike on Instagram and Twitter. I'd love to talk to you this week. And join us this Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central for the Be Our Guest Podcast live call-in show. We turn the show over to you. We open up the phone lines and we take video calls as well. We just want to hear what's on your mind. You get to be a part of the show. Just call in, share a recent trip, talk about the news. It's your show. So join Scott and I as we take your calls Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. All right, we're going to get out of here and let you get on with your week. Thanks so much for dropping in, and I hope you have a wonderful week. So for Stephanie, live from Bay Lake Tower, I'm Mike here in St. Louis. Have a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All righty. Thank you so much.
And Mike, thank you. Hey, real quick question. I had to pick your daughter up from cheer.
Yep.
Hey, so you said you're going on a Disney cruise. Is that something that you would, I mean, we've never done it before. We're kind of back and forth about it.
Yeah, we're doing the podcast cruise here in a couple weeks. We're doing it with 105 of our listeners.
Wow.
Yeah, awesome. It's crazy. They're awesome though. If you like going on Walt Disney World trips, it's better because what I tell people is it's like staying in a deluxe resort. It's like having signature meals every night in like world-class entertainment because you get a good show in the theater every night. There's shopping, there's stores on board, and every day you go to like the beach day to Castaway Key. Some Nassau is okay. Like Nassau could take or leave, but some itineraries are like the Cozumel, or you'll go to Grand Cayman, or wherever you want to go. But they're amazing. The service is just it's unbelievable on the ships.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, you give it a shot sometime. I think you'd love it. And just I love seeing the ocean. Because I mean, in the Midwest, you just don't see anything that beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. Okay, so when will this be on then? Was this live?
Yeah, so it'll be live. It's live, right? So you'll be able to see it tonight on YouTube if you just go to our channel on YouTube, but it'll be on the podcast feed on Monday.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. Yep. Okay.
All right.
Well, great.
Get it ready to go. All right, I'll see you guys. Have fun tonight.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Bye, everybody.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.